If you're a first-time home buyer in Ontario, this is probably the most important video you'll watch. In my previous videos, I talk about first-time buyer incentives and whether you can actually buy with 5% down. But here's the thing, even after understanding those, most buyers are still confused about one big question. How much can I really afford? Not what the bank approves you for, not what an online calculator says, but what you can comfortably live month to month. Today, I'm going to break that down properly using real GTA example, real numbers, and the mistake I see buyers make before they even call an agent. The biggest mistake. Let me start with the biggest mistake I see first-time buyers make, and it happens before they even speak to a realtor or a mortgage broker. They start with home prices instead of monthly cost. Go to realtor.ca, scroll listing, maybe use a calculator and think, okay, I can afford around $750,000. But that number is meaningless without context. Because a $750,000 condo and a $750,000 townhouse can feel completely different financially. What usually happens is buyers fall in love with homes they shouldn't be stretching for, or they underestimate themselves and stay stuck renting longer than necessary. And neither outcome is good. What affordable really means? Here's something most people don't realize. Bank qualify risk, but buyers leave the payment. A lender looks at your gross income, debt ratios, and stress test rates, but they don't care if you travel, you have kids, want saving, or enjoy life. That's your problem, not theirs. Real affordability is not what's the max I can buy, it's what monthly payment still let me sleep at night. That includes your mortgage payment, property taxes, condo fees or maintenances, utilities, insurances, and future rate changes that happen these years. This is where online calculator falls short. They don't see your lifestyle. Real monthly cost breakdown. So let's talk about real numbers. Say someone buys a $700,000 condo with 5% down. Your monthly cost could look like $3,400 for your mortgage, $500 for your condo fees, $300 for property tax and utility and insurances. We're looking at, let's say, $200. You're now close to $4,400 per month. But online, that same buyer thought, oh, mortgage is only $3,400, so that's fine. This gap is where buyers get stressed later. Affordability is about the full picture, not just the mortgage. Renting versus buying, the math people miss. Now let's talk about renting versus buying, as this comes up constantly. People say renting is cheaper, and sometimes that's true. But here's the math most people never do. Let's say you rent for $3,000 per month. That's $36,000 a year. Over 5 years, $180,000 gone. Now compare that to ownership, where part of your payment goes to principal. Rents keep rising, but mortgages eventually stabilize. Buying isn't always cheaper up front, but it's often more predictable long term. The real question isn't is renting cheaper, it's where does my money end up? Toronto versus Vaughan examples. So let me give you two realistic GTA examples. One, let's say Toronto condo, purchase price $650,000, 5 to 10% down, monthly all in, it's approximately $4,100. Household income needed roughly around $130 to $140K. In example number 2, in Vaughan, a townhouse, purchase price $850,000, higher taxes and maintenance, monthly all in $5,000. So household income needed to be around $160K to $175K. So the two buyers could earn the same income but afford very different house bases on down payment, debt, lifestyle choices. That's why income alone doesn't tell the full story. How first-time buyers should actually prepare. If you're serious about buying your first home, here's the right order. Figure out your comfortable monthly payment. Stress test your own budget. Decide what lifestyle trade-offs you're okay with. Then and only then start looking at homes. Don't start with listings, start with clarity. First-time buying isn't about chasing the biggest mortgage. It's about buying a home that fits your life, not one that controls it. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe. In the next videos, I'll be breaking down pre-approvals versus pre-qualifications, condo versus freehold decisions, and the real closing costs first-time buyers forget. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.